Almost all crocheters are ruining their edges without even realizing it. And if your edges look wavy or have gaps, no matter what you try, it's not your tension. And I'm going to test 3 different methods head to head to see which one actually gives the cleanest edge. And the first thing that you have to do is eliminate that turning chain, because that's what creates the gaps and throws your edges off right from the start. And here's what we're going to be testing: the stacked single crochet, the standing double crochet, and a single crochet plus chain 1 method. Each one eliminates your turning chain for double crochet, but they all create a very different edge. And I'm comparing them based on how clean the edges look, how easy they are to do, and how consistent they stay row after row. And I'll be honest, one of these surprised me, and the one I thought would win, it didn't. But by the way, I'm Alicia of Little John Yarns, and I help you crochet with confidence, not confusion. So if that's what you want, go ahead and subscribe, and make sure you stick around, because at the very end, I'm going to show you the results side by side, and there's one method that completely changed how my edges look. So let's get started with the stacked single crochet. At the end of any one of your double crochet rows, you would typically begin to chain, but we're not. We're going to turn our work, and for a stacked single crochet, we're going to single crochet into that first stitch. Now, as the name says, we're going to stack another single crochet on top. Can you see these 2 bars, bar 1 and bar 2? We're going to insert our hook through bar 1 right here and complete a single crochet. So go through that first bar and single crochet again. And that is a stacked single crochet, and you would just finish as normal. I wanted to show you what the last stitch of your row would look like when you're using stacked single crochets. So you'll be working into that very top single crochet. If we look to the side, you can see that first one here, and on top is that stacked single crochet, and you will put your last stitch into that one. Okay, so let's grade this. Does it have clean edges? Yes, I think these edges are pretty straight, no gaps. Was it easy to do? It was a little bit tedious, but it didn't take that much time out of my work. And is it consistent throughout? I think so. This is actually one of my favorite ways to do a non-turning chain for a double crochet. So I give this one a thumbs up. Next up is the standing double crochet. Like before, once you make it to the end of your double crochet row, we are going to pull our loop long, turn our work. As this loop is long, we're going to act like it's the beginning of the height of your stitch. This is almost acting as your turning chain. So you just start your double crochet as normally. So yarn over, go back into that first stitch, and complete your double crochet. There is some pinching of the fingers that you have to do. It's hard to see. Double crochet is normal. I'll try to show you that one more time. Sorry about that. Okay, see if I can get my fingers out the way. So we're going to pull this loop up to the height of a double crochet, and we're going to yarn over us normally, kind of pinch onto this work so it doesn't slip and slide, and go back into that first stitch. And complete your double crochet as normally. So yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And now I'm just going to double crochet to the end of the row and show you how to work into that very last stitch. We've made it to the last stitch, and the very last stitch on these elongated double crochets, you'll notice that last stitch is kind of very long and sloped. That's what you'll be working your last stitch in. Okay, this is not my favorite, but it is simpler than the last stitch that we did. It's not bad. All right, so let's put it to the test. Does it have clean edges? Yes, the edges look clean, but there is a little bit of gappage in there. Let me see. All right, was it easy to do? It was pretty easy. You just have to grab onto the yarn correctly. And is the stitches look consistent? It kind of slopes down at the end, but that's nothing you can't fix with a little bit of blocking. So I guess it's consistent. Still not my favorite, but definitely easier than a stacked single crochet. All right, let's test the last one. On this one, we're going to do the single crochet chain one method. I know there's a chain one, but this isn't the turning chain. All right, just like before, when you make it to the end of your double crochet row, we're not going to chain. We are going to turn our work. I'm going to single crochet back into that first stitch. And now I'm going to chain one loosely. This chain one and single crochet is going to count as a double crochet, and it kind of looks like a double crochet more so than the other stitches. All right, and now we're just going to double crochet all the way across, and I'll show you how to work into that very last stitch. All right, we made it to the last stitch, and remember how I said chain one loosely? It's because we're going to be working that last double crochet into the chain one. As you can see here, here's the single crochet, and on top is a chain one. And like I said, this one looks the most like double crochet at the end of the row. So let me put that last double crochet in there. All right, so let's look for clean edges. The edges are clean. I feel like this is still a little blocky. This is spacey too, but it's crochet. It's hard to tell, but I can't wait till I see them side by side. So it was pretty easy to do, and to me it looked the most like a double crochet at the end of the row. And was it consistent? Yeah, it looks consistent throughout the row. So how we're truly going to see, I like this one, so give this a ding. But now we're going to put them side by side to see which one is actually better. We have all of our swatches lined up, and none of these have been blocked, so you can see exactly what this looks like straight off the hook. So can you tell which is which? Well, this one is the single crochet plus chain one. This is the standing double crochet, and this is the stacked single crochet. Let's look at them in comparison to swatches made with a chain three that represents the double crochet. As you can see with all of these, that chain three leaves that ugly, horrible gap that you don't want to see, and they all basically fixed it. But let's go through these one by one. All right, first up is my least favorite, which is the single crochet plus a chain one. As you can see, this still leaves a slight bumpy edge, even though up close, it looked closest to a double crochet, but it leaves more of a gap compared to the other ones. My runner-up is the standing double crochet. This one is a little bit tricky to learn, but it's one of the simpler ones of all three. But it still has these little gaps on the side, but it's super quick. And my favorite, the one I use all the time, is the stacked single crochet. Look on how there's no gaps in these edges, and it's super straight in comparison to the other techniques. So one, I love this one. But I did want to show you a technique that I use often with other double crochets. This one is a chain one. Yes, it is a turning chain, but I just chain one and go immediately into a double crochet. I do this with all of my work, and it works great when you're working with front and back posts, and it still leaves a pretty much straight edge. There's gaps, so if you don't want to do any loops and tricks, just stick to simple, chain one, put a double crochet, and go about your business if you don't want to try something different. But the old-time winner of this 3 test is the stacked single crochet. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this video and you'd like to watch other comparison videos like this one up here on which knot is the best join and won't come apart. So find that out right here. And guys, I'll see you all on the very next video. Bye, guys.